Hey guys, Pieguyrulz here, and welcome back to Nick or Treat. Tonight we have a Wild Thornberrys episode, but I decided to do something a little bit different. While there are 2 episodes in the first season, spooky enough to be Halloween episodes, in the spirit of the Wild Thornberrys being culturally aware, I decided to go with the Dia de los Muertos episode. But before we get to the main feature, I suppose I should touch upon those 2 other episodes. The first is, I'm not even going to try to pronounce it, just put it up on the screen. This episode deals a lot with fear. A group of kids in a local tribe make Eliza feel like she's a scaredy cat compared to them. So, in order to prove that she's not, she decides to go into what is considered to be a haunted forest. Along the way, things happen to her that may or may not be supernatural. It's a pretty decent episode, and not a bad one to watch at Halloween. The other episode, Blood Sisters, is even better than that. It deals with vampire bats and a spooky castle, and some good humor with Marianne having a crush on the guy that lives there long ago when he used to be her professor, but now something seems very, very off about him. Meanwhile, Eliza and Debbie get into an escalating competition of trying to scare each other. The episode's really interesting and can be downright creepy, especially the ending. And I'm not going to spoil it, but there is actually a pretty good twist in there. I highly recommend that episode. But let's get to the main feature. Spirited Away. Eliza and Debbie search for a ring that's accidentally been baked into bread. And this happens on the Day of the Dead, which causes some interesting things to occur. And by interesting things, I mean Eliza sees a ghost. That's not really a spoiler, it's pretty obvious from the get-go that yes, she's talking to a ghost. And you know what? I'm perfectly okay with this. In a show where Eliza can talk to animals, having her be able to talk to the dead isn't really much of a stretch. It's not like they threw it in at the last second and said, "Her, she's a ghost all along." No, it made sense throughout the episode. Another thing I really like is that they don't really subtitle anything in this episode. Some characters speak English, but a lot of them only speak Spanish, and the Spanish that they do speak is very rudimentary. I don't really know that much Spanish, but I could recognize pretty much everything every character was saying. So props to them for being able to use Spanish that a lot of kids will understand. While the story of this episode is interesting, and there's even some decent jokes thrown in there, what really makes this episode shine is the culture, it's the location, it's the visuals, it's the fact that it's showing off a holiday that we don't get to see that much of in television. That's where the Wild Thornberrys always shined. It's not necessarily that it's super educational or anything, but there's enough little details in there that makes it really different from a lot of other cartoons. The fact that the Christmas episode takes place in a really hot location and the Valentine's Day episode involves Eliza having to get major surgery shows that this is a very different cartoon. So while it's not the funniest or the most interesting, it's definitely engaging in what it does. This episode features cultural music and a lot of mask designs which are used in Dia de los Muertos. You really get a feel of the culture. And that's why I like this episode. It's different. And unlike Rocket Power, this one actually managed to pull it off. The episode's really just good. There's not much else I have to say. One joke that stands out in my mind is that Eliza asks the donkey if he's seen anything strange going on around here, and he describes the odd proportions of Eliza's father's head. And in terms of story, it really feels like Eliza and Debbie had to work to find that ring. It was a little bit obvious that Donnie was gonna put the ring in the bread, and like I said, it was also obvious that the woman was a ghost the entire time. But aside from those 2 things, you really don't know where exactly the plot's gonna go. It definitely does a great job of keeping you interested and on your toes. As a Halloween special, yeah, I'd probably recommend Blood Sisters higher than this. But as a Dia de los Muertos episode, you can't go wrong here. Pieguyrulz, out.